So the other day, when Black Panther came out, there were lots of responses from very many people. A lot of Ugandans were hyped. This is our story. A lot of black kids out there. We can't wait to take, yes, Wakanda forever. Yeah. And later, I kept on reading people's, analyses of the story of the movie, yeah, and trying to understand where they're coming from. And one of those was an article shared by a queer person who was concerned that Wakanda should have had more representation of queer people, because among black people are also queer people. So the person who shared it actually, I think, quoted and said bullocks. Yeah. And then later that day, I saw a post on Twitter of someone complaining that every nice series these days that comes out, they are trying to choke gay people under our throats. They are trying to include them in every story.
Queer people.
Yes, queer people, LGBTQ people.
Like lesbians, gay people, transgender people.
One of the comments to the Facebook post was, I think this is how white people feel when you keep complaining about why aren't black people in this movie? Why are they killing off the black guy? Why is the black guy given 2 minutes throughout a movie of like 92 minutes to speak? Yeah. And of course, from there, people kept on talking about how important representation is, what representation means to each one of them. Yeah. Does it mean that in a movie that has a cast of 50 people, we should have 25, let me say, black people and then 25 white people? Are those the only two groups that need to be represented? Do we need to take note of how many women are there and what's the nature of the story that the women are sharing? Yeah, who's behind the cameras? Who's producing? Are they going to kill off the nigger because he was trying to steal on the street? You get? So it sparked a conversation that kept on going for me.
I think when you have power and privilege, many times you're blinded to how somebody who's not as privileged feels.
Yeah.
If you're a man, most times you're going to see the news anchors, the people that are sitting on panels, and you're going to see yourself there. And you're the default.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you think about actively. If you're a white man, you're always going to be in the movies. You're going to be in all the Marvel superheroes are actually white men.
Your papers are going to be given money for, your stories are going to be, promoted
so you never
everywhere.
think about it. So when an LGBT person comes and says, "Oh, you did not represent my story. You did not tell my story. You did not humanize me," I think that's a valid critique that needs to be given attention, because their stories are never in mainstream stories. Yes, and then people will tell you, "Oh, why don't you create your own art? Why don't you make your own story where you get to tell this nice, loving story about gay people?" Yeah. The problem is, yes, even if you tell it, it's just that you also need resources and support to be able to get that story out to a wider audience so that it's normalized. So let's look at the feeling that black people had about Black Panther. They're like, wow, for the first time, we're not being represented as slaves. We have speaking roles, we have power, we're rich.
I'm not being taken to court for killing off a white guy, for having a gun in school.
Like we are classy, and those are some of the things that people were saying. Yeah.
But should it matter the representation of black people by white men? Remember, after Trump made that statement, I saw people try to show all these mountains, all these legs that we had. Trump calling Africa shithole. And I was a bit bothered. Like, why do you need to prove to the white guy that we are not a shithole? Yeah? Why do you need to share all these beautiful scenes that we have, the mountains that we have to try to show that you're not a shithole? Yeah? But someone else might disagree.
Sorry, Beth.
Yeah, no, it's...
all right.
Yeah.
Now, I need diplomacy because everything you guys are saying is just unbelievable. As in, you go and make your own movie. As in, don't cry for us. If you can't stand out, shut up.
Yeah.
Now, that's very, very strong. But then I feel like I'm going to have two thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I think if you can't stand out, find a way to stand out. I don't see Serena Williams saying, "You guys represent me. I feel like us black successful women in sports need representation. Now, maybe I don't really know much about that, but then let's even go to football. Do we see the black football players also struggling for representation? No, we don't. Now, my first thought when people speak about, oh, I need someone to go and
tell my story and stuff like that. No, work hard. As in, work hard and stand out. Work hard and stand out. We have so many success stories. Obama didn't need to be represented. He worked hard, and because of
But you
his
see, the
no,
thing
wait, Leah, first wait. Now, because of where he has, of what he has done, what he has achieved, guess what? He doesn't need to go and beg. Because for me, now, let me define what representation means to me, or where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just that it's an expression of a need to be seen. That's what I think representation means.
Yeah.
There's also the other hand of like parliament and things like that, that we're going to send delegates to, such that we can hear everything from the country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then now you have this situation where it's the media, it's entertainment. And here people are demanding. And I'm like, no, do your own thing or shut up.
Yeah.
Shine or shut up. If you cannot shine, please sit down. Yeah? We've gone to the bar. Okay, me, I don't go to the bar. But Beth has gone to the bar. And she's with a group. Okay, sorry, Beth. A certain someone.
I go to the bar, so yes, Beth is in the bar.
A certain
Beth is in
someone
the bar.
has gone to the bar with her
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Maybe she's on campus and
Yeah.
they're like a group of 5 girls. And then this girl who didn't try, she's like, the guys don't like me. They're only focusing on a certain girl called maybe Beth, because maybe Beth looks nice and stuff like that. And I'm like, don't cry, do something about it, and make sure you can stand out. Because then what we have is a situation where people, rather than focusing on producing fruit, you're just focusing on, oh me, I just feel like I need to be seen. And yeah,
Do you
I
feel like
understand that, Yvonne, and I understand that, we really need to work hard in order to enter certain critical spaces, but you're not going to be able to enter those spaces without opportunity. Yes, you need to have talent and you need to work hard, but an opportunity for you to shine also needs to be created. Obama is an outlier, come on.
true.
And
But
also, I
if
think
you
we
look
need
at,
to
let me,
also take note
if
of
we're looking at the
resources.
entertainment industry, let's look at a woman that many women are excited about, Viola Davis. Viola Davis blew up just very recently with How to Get Away with Murder, and then she started getting like more mainstream. She's really, really extremely talented, and I think one time she said, I think when she was receiving one of her awards, she said that if the stories are not being written about black people, then it means that I can't even go to audition
as a black
as a black woman, because people keep telling her, oh, you're like Meryl Streep. But then she says, but every movie is being written for Meryl Streep. Every movie that's being funded. If you're going to a studio like Marvel, if you're looking at the people that are actually giving the money for these movies to be told, they're generally white people, and they're going to make the decisions that are going to help elevate other people. Yes, and let's not even limit it
Talk about
to
black,
black people. Many underrepresented people are actually going out and creating and doing all these fantastic things, but they just don't have they don't have the opportunity for their stories to become mainstream. Yeah? And so then the story that's then accepted becomes a story of the white man, of the white woman, the story of slavery, because those are the things that are getting funded.
Now, to agree with you, now, because I said I'd have 2 thoughts on this, to agree with you, now, what I'm talking about is obviously in a perfect world,
Right.
yes, where
which does not exist.
which can exist if we make it. No, it can, unless you no, then I'm sorry, pessimist, optimist. Now, I believe that we can create this perfect world, because then let's go and die. Let's go kill ourselves and die, because if we can't create the perfect world, then where are we living, right?
Yeah.
So I think in the ideal world, let everyone have a chance to present whatever it is they have, and let them be heard. Let the best man win, right?
Yeah.
Or the person. I think that's a very, very good. Yeah, I'm agreeing myself, but yeah, let the best man win, or let the one who has the best product shine most. But then now we're not living in a perfect world. Now, I wish the advocacy would shift from represent me, because there's so many groups. We just right now we have already the emergence of these over the Q and the I don't know what those things are, but they've come up, the LGBT. It's about to reach XYZ. Now, the things, there's just so many things that are going to come up. So if we keep, okay, now we're going to have an advocacy group for this, and then for this, and then for this. Ideally, strategy would be, let's create a place where it's fair. Let's have a situation where instead of us knowing that there'll be only one person that's listened to, can we have fair ground? Can we advocate for fair ground? Can we advocate for systems that listen to everyone, not systems where we have to keep crying. Because now I'm also going to create my own group. The people who can't say God on TV, or the people who can't talk about, who can say praise Jesus and stuff like that. Maybe I also need my own advocacy group to say that, no, you know what? I want us to be able to say God on TV. I want us, and the groups will not end. So why don't we advocate for
fair ground? Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what, I think we are forgetting that there's the issue of resources and resource appropriation. I'll give an example. There are very many talk shows on TV. Yeah, they have many issues they discuss. The other day I was very disgusted. There's a talk show, it's talking about the health systems in Uganda, and there are 4 50-year-plus old men, and then a token woman, sometimes one of them just there at the edge. Yeah? How do you expect to have a balanced debate if there is one Elizabeth here, and then there is a Moses, a Stephen, there are like 5 men? Whose age group, by the way? I'm deliberately saying 50 and above, very deliberately. Yeah? How do you expect, you may say, why are women crying? Why don't they go out and shine? But how am I supposed to shine if my opinions, if my ideas do not have that space? For me to get to the table, to have my issues funded, to have my paper get money, to have my movie funded, because we have to agree. People are poor out there. We do not have the same resources. So what we are looking for is, if for example a TV station has a talk show, it has 6 talk shows in a day. Have 2 women and 2 men. What's so hard? The much effort that you put in to find the men to talk on these shows is the much effort you should put into. Put into consideration. Do not expect to call a woman who has 2 children at home that you expect to cook for her husband for a talk show at 10 p.m. What is wrong with you inviting her for the morning show or trying to give her an opportunity elsewhere?
No, sort your things out. Don't tell us your children.
We cannot I really don't think we can disregard the issues, the structures that people have to deal with.
You want to have your cake and eat it as well. So you've decided to raise your kids, then raise them. So
Yvonne,
if you can't come out at 10,
okay.
Yes, I'm getting emotional. So let me calm down and say that if we can't find the women, maybe they are not working hard enough.
No,
I
disagree.
I think that's an unfair assessment. I think it starts from the person in a position of power, the person with the decision-making ability to say that actually this woman even has an opinion. This woman actually has something to contribute.
So long as we're not undercutting our quality just because we want to give people a chance.
And they never...